Hi students. Welcome to MI Academy. This video is going to be on grade 10 chapter 3, Business Organizations. In this video we will learn what is known as business organizations and how can we classify them. And also, I have mentioned the links of the chapter 1 and 2 explanation videos in the below description. If you want you can click on it and watch them, and also please stay subscribed, so that you can watch my videos soon after uploaded, without missing. If you have any questions or doubts, don't hesitate to mention in the comments. Now let's go into the video. Alright, first let's discuss what are we going to learn in this chapter. First we will see what is known as business organizations. Second, we will be looking at what are the ways that we can classify the business organizations. We can classify business organizations according to the ownership, according to the objectives, and according to the scale. Third subheading we will be studying is about the types of business organizations and their characteristics. For an example, sole proprietorship, partnership, incorporated companies. Okay, we'll later discuss about them further. Fourth, we will be studying about selecting an appropriate business organization according to the objectives, according to the scale, according to the management procedures. Then last, let's discuss on the registration of sole proprietorship business. Here we'll talk about the steps to be followed for the registration. Then the documents needed for registration and the advantages of registering the business. Now let's see what is business organization. Business organization is an organization formed in order to satisfy human needs and wants, mainly for profit. When the population of a country is increasing, the process of manufacturing and distributing goods and services has expanded. Therefore, different types of business organizations are established in order to fulfill the needs and wants of people. Examples for some of the business organizations we are going to study today are sole proprietorship, partnership, incorporated companies, cooperative societies, other associations, departments, state corporations, state companies. Businesses are organized in different ways. These different types of business organizations can be classified as follows depending on various criteria. Based on the ownership, based on the objective, and based on the scale. The owners are the individuals who provide funds for the business and assume risks by involving in it. The owners enjoy the profits earned by the business and bear the losses of the business as well. Accordingly, business organizations can be categorized as private sector business organizations and public sector business organizations. Businesses owned by an individual or a group of individuals are known as private sector businesses. Private sector businesses can be further classified as sole proprietorship, partnerships, incorporated companies, cooperative societies, and other associations. Businesses registered and owned under provincial councils and local government institutions are the different types of business organizations in the public sector. These business organizations are funded by the government, but in private sector businesses, owners or the individuals should invest in the business. Examples for public sector business organizations are state departments, state corporations, state companies. Now let's see how to classification of business organizations based on the objectives. Different organizations are established to achieve different objectives. Businesses are also conducted by its owners to achieve an objective. Mainly they can be classified as profit motive and non-profit motive. When the main objective of the business is to earn profits, they are known as profit-oriented businesses. This type of businesses are operated under both private sector and public sector. Examples for private sector businesses with profit motive are sole proprietorship, partnership, Incorporated companies. Example for public sector businesses with profit motive is state companies. When the main objective of the businesses is to ensure welfare of members and the society, then they're known as not-for-profit businesses. Not-for-profit businesses are also conducted both under private sector and public sector. Examples for private sector businesses with non-profit motive are cooperative societies, other associations. Example for public sector businesses with non-profit motive are state corporations, departments. Okay, then now let's see how can we classify the business organizations based on the scale. Scale means the size of the business, like we can say small-scale businesses as small grocery shops near your houses. Here you can find only 2 or 3 employees and only a small amount of capital is invested, and large-scale businesses are like the tea factories, and businesses producing vehicles. Here you will find large number of capital is invested and massive number of employees are working in it. Therefore we can say that the scale of a business organization depends on different criteria. Some of the criteria used as follows. Amount of capital invested in a business. Number of employees working in the business organization. Amount of the energy used, example, the machineries, electricity. Market share of the business. Market share is the percentage of total sales of the business. Market share is calculated by taking the company's sales over the period and dividing it by the total sales of the industry over the same period. Based on the scale, business organizations can be categorized into 2 parts. Small and medium-scale businesses. Large-scale businesses. Businesses with a small amount of capital invested, with a small number of employees and having a small market share relative to large-scale businesses are known as small and medium-scale businesses. Businesses that have invested a large amount of capital, have employed a large number of employees, have a large market share and have the ability to influence the respective industry are known as large-scale businesses. Okay students, we have finished discussing the first subtopic, what is known as business organization, and the second subtopic, classification of business organizations. And we will be discussing about the third subtopic of this chapter, the types of business organizations and their characteristics. First of all, let's see what types of business organizations we will be discussing in this chapter. We will be discussing about 7 different business organizations we studied in our previous video. They are sole proprietorships, partnerships, incorporated companies, cooperative societies, other association, state corporations, departments. First, let's discuss about our first organization. It is the basic and simple one. Sole proprietorships. Businesses owned by an individual is known as sole proprietorship. This is the most common type of business organization in almost all the countries in the world. This type of business organization is common because it is easy to commence, requires only a small amount of capital and can take independent decisions. The success of this business depends on the skills and dedication of its owner. Mostly these are small businesses because the business organization is owned by only one person and only he can invest a small amount of money in the business by using his personal savings and by taking loans from friends or family. Can you see these pictures? These are the examples for the sole proprietorship businesses. The first one is a small shop and one person is selling food items in it. The second one you can see is a flower shop. The third one is a small vegetable shop and you can see here a dress shop. So now can you identify them? Most of the businesses in the world are sole proprietorship businesses. And now let's see the characteristics of sole proprietorship business organization. Characteristics of sole proprietorship. The following characteristics can be seen in sole proprietorship. Capital is provided by a single person who is the owner. The owner is required to find the necessary capital for the business. Individually, savings or borrowed funds by the owner can be invested as the capital to the business. Profits or losses to be borne alone. All the profits earned by a sole proprietorship belong to the owner. Also, if there is a loss, the owner should bear it alone. Unlimited liability of the owner in a sole proprietorship. The owner's liability is unlimited. Accordingly, the liability is not limited only for the capital that had been invested. In order to settle liabilities of the business, the owner might require to use his properties external to the business, and there is no limit for such commitment. Liabilities means the money due to be paid by the business to someone else. It can be the creditors or bank loan. Okay, now let's go to the next one. No legal personality. A sole proprietorship cannot conduct any legal operations by its business name. It can do only by the personal name of the owner. For example, entering into contracts, purchase of vehicles, obtaining bank loan, filing cases should be done in the personal name of the owner. No continued existence. Due to death of the owner, or owner being mentally unsound to conduct the business, etc., the business operations of a sole proprietorship will be discontinued. Not mandatory to register. In general, it is not mandatory to register a sole proprietorship. But if the business name is not in the full name of the owner, it should be registered. By registering you will get many benefits. We will talk about this later in our upcoming videos. In addition to the above-mentioned characteristics, there are some other characteristics of a sole proprietorship, such as the ability to take decisions alone. Controlling is done by the owner, and owner has the opportunity to discontinue the business at any time he requires. Now let's see what are the advantages of sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorship have following main advantages compared to other types of business organizations. Convenient to start. Since the legal requirements are minimal and the cost of establishing is low compared to other business organizations, it is easy to commence a sole proprietorship. All the profits belong to the owner. All the profits earned by a sole proprietorship is enjoyed solely by the owner. Privacy of the business information is secured. Since all the management and administrative activities of a sole proprietorship are usually done by its owner, it is less likely that the business information be transmitted to external parties. Ability to use own skills at the best. Since all benefits accrue to himself, the owner renders his skills and dedication at his best to achieve the growth of the business. Independent decision-making. The owner can take decisions quickly, since all the decisions regarding the business are taken by its owner himself. Now let's see what are the disadvantages of sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorships have following main disadvantages compared to other business organizations. Unlimited liability of the owner. The owner is personally liable for all the debts of the business. If the level of debt is higher than the value of all the assets of the business, the owner must sacrifice even his private properties to pay off debts. Difficulties in raising capital. The financial strength of an individual is limited. In addition, it is difficult to raise capital from external parties such as banks, due to the higher level of risk involved in sole proprietorships and due to the unlimited liability of its owner. No continuous existence. The business operations of a sole proprietorship could be discontinued due to the death of its owner or owner being mentally incapable. No legal personality. A sole proprietorship does not have a legal personality. Therefore, all the legal activities of the business have to be conducted under the personal name of its owner. Individual decisions of the owner can be unsuccessful. There is a possibility that the individual decisions taken based only on the knowledge and experience of an individual can become unsuccessful compared to collective decisions. Now I hope you have gotten clear idea about sole proprietorship business organization. Then we have to study about our second business organization, which is the partnership. Okay students, I will continue the chapter 3, business organizations, in our next video, from partnerships. So please subscribe to MI Academy, and turn on the notification bell icon, to all, so that you can watch my upcoming videos without missing. Also please, like my videos, and add up your questions and doubts in the comments. I will try to reply them as soon as possible. Share the videos with your friends, and help them to learn, quickly and easily. Let's meet in our next video. See you guys.